Now, the latest breaking news.
It is 10:59 and we're continuing our breaking news coverage of the shootings and chaos in Clearwater this evening. 3 separate shooting scenes, 2 people injured, 8 people now being questioned at Clearwater Police Headquarters. Bay News 9's Lori Davison has got all the important information for us in just a second. But first, we want to show you some video with some dramatic audio that somebody shot at the scene as the shots rang out.
I'm telling you. I'm trying to tell you to be careful. Sophia!
Wow, somebody hearing those shots ringing out and running away. Bay News 9's Lori Davison has been covering this breaking story for us all evening, and she joined us now live from Clearwater Beach with the details. Lori?
Rick, this continues to be a fluid situation. As you mentioned, police say that they now have 8 suspects in custody. There is still a heavy police presence here at the beach. Multiple firearms have been recovered. Officers say that they are basically trying to sort this out and apprehend anyone who was involved. Witnesses describe a scene of sheer panic as shots rang out on Clearwater Beach during the busy Memorial Day holiday. Christy Ortiz and a friend were in the parking garage at the Hyatt Hotel when they heard a lot of commotion.
I heard it and I saw, like, as soon as I heard it, the guy started running, like, in that general area, like, everybody just kind of dispersed.
Police say it all started about 7 o'clock when 2 groups of people got into a fight. They say someone pulled a gun and shots were fired in a parking lot, in the parking garage, and on the street. At least 2 people were hit, 1 in the hand and 1 in the groin.
We have multiple weapons charges. We haven't fully figured out who was who in this scenario, but we're actively searching and working right now.
Police closed off the 2 bridges onto the beach to incoming traffic, trying to keep the scene contained. They also checked some of the cars leaving, making sure nobody was trying to sneak out.
The safety of our beachgoers is utmost importance right now, so we're being extremely cautious.
Police can't say yet whether more people are involved or what caused the fight in the first place, but they stress they don't think this was a random incident. The bridges have reopened, so access has now been restored, and officers are going around to businesses right now to make sure that they are secure. Rick?
Lori, got a couple of questions for you. First, a lot of people are wondering if the shootings may have been gang-related.
Well, police say that they are looking into that right now. Again, they are questioning these people at police headquarters, so at this point they do not have a firm motive, but that is certainly one of the things that they're looking into.
There was a lot of chaos tonight. People were not being allowed onto Clearwater Beach. Were there any kind of evacuations this evening?
No, from what we understand, there was no mandatory evacuation, but I can tell you that when we did come across the bridge ourselves and we were being allowed onto the beach, we did see a lot of cars leaving. So it seems like a lot of people were trying to kind of get away from this in the heat of it all when it was all happening, but there was never a mandatory evacuation. I also understand that officers did go around to some of the businesses here, the restaurants and bars, and kind of told people to stay inside while they were still actively looking for those suspects. But again, now they do have 8 people in custody, so people are roaming around here now freely.
Queena was just everyone's friend. She was very popular and very likable. She was very into fashion and she was into her schooling, and she was just a very, very good girl.
So much has changed for Queena Fu in the last 6 years, but so much has also remained the same.
She just chooses to be happy and inspirational.
Queena was a high school senior when she was raped, beaten, and left for dead outside the Bloomingdale Library in 2008. Doctors gave her a 10% chance of survival, but her sister Anna says she's a fighter.
It's very hard to suffer something traumatic and recover. You know, it's hard to suffer and then it's easy to give up. But if you don't give up, then it's hard and you have to keep going.
Stand tall. That's it.
Since the attack, Queena's family has provided round-the-clock care. Queena does numerous physical and occupational therapies every day.
Leg straight, honey.
Anna says she's making progress.
Again, when you're ready to kick. Excellent.
She's been standing, she's been eating, she's holding her head up She's tracking things, she's more verbal, more comprehensive, and she's just on the right road. She's healing every day.
Good. You did it.
But therapy is expensive. The family estimates it costs about $70,000 a year, with Medicaid covering only a small portion of that. So they rely on fundraisers and donations to make up the difference.
Just one small thing from one person can dramatically help another.
They're planning a holiday shopping fair to raise money and celebrate Queena's favorite season.
She was the gift wrapper, she was the cooker, she put up the Christmas tree. She loved shopping.
Take a step with your right leg.
One day they're hoping she can do all of that again. In the meantime, they say what really matters still remains.
I was always, her big sister, and she was my little shadow, and she looked at me as, her protector, and we were just so close, and we still are.
In Hillsborough County, Lori Davison, Bay News 9.
This doesn't feel like a church. It doesn't look like a church. It's not confined like a church.
In a dusty arena,
Ooh, did you see that?
Skipper Calder feels very much at home.
We want to change this horse's mind.
My background is I was born and raised on a ranch, rodeo, horses, cows, the whole deal.
Oh, you're not big enough to be bad.
Calder says he didn't get serious about his faith until he was in his 20s, when a friend's wife and baby died. Then he felt a calling.
I was very reluctant because I didn't go to school to be a preacher, but God knew what he was doing.
But we're going to try to get...
Calder got the idea to combine the gospel with something he knew very well, horse training, and his Cowboy Up ministry was born.
We understand God called us to be fishermen of men. Well, what kind of fish we catch depends on what we use for bait, and we use horses.
See, he's gotten stiff all at once.
Every Sunday, Calder invites people to bring him a horse with a problem. Then he weaves training techniques in with scriptures.
See, in John 13:34, it says, "A new command I give you."
At this service, Brenda Anderson brought along Ricky, a pony who's skittish around people.
And he can show how when the horse gives himself to the trainer, that's how you're supposed to give yourself to God. He's your trainer.
Oh, brother, I used to drive 100, 150, 200 miles just to go to a honky-tonk, chasing women and stuff, back in my wild and woolly days.
Now Harley Butler drives 200 miles round trip to attend the Cowboy Church. It's a place you can come as you are, wearing jeans and a Stetson. People say this congregation feels like home.
My life has turned a 360, and I'm back where I'm supposed to be.
Butler says he's gone from being ruggedly independent to counting on God. Pretty soon, a similar transformation begins to happen to the pony in the ring.
Now, I can put the leader up on him anytime I want to.
And one of my sayings is a rude, disrespectful horse cannot stay the same in my presence. And we cannot stay the same in the presence of God. We basically love people and then let God be God. Let God's word be the strength.
And while he admits his horse-driven sermon isn't for everyone, Calder says for those who do choose to saddle up here, it seems to be serving them well in the arena of life.
Love one another unconditionally.
In Hillsborough County, Lori Davison, Bay News 9. It is cold out here. Clearwater Beach is practically deserted. This is definitely not beach weather, but we did find a few brave souls out and about throughout the day, still trying to enjoy the water. It's a picture-perfect sunset, a kaleidoscope of color in the sky at Clearwater Beach. But with temperatures that make you think more of snow than sand, there aren't a lot of people beachside to enjoy it. Ashley Walton and Adam Sparby are here from Minnesota and have the view almost all to themselves.
Well, we got out of the car and we're like, oh, it's not that bad outside. Like, I didn't need a coat. I just have my sweater on. At home, I mean, you get out of the car and you run to the house, and like here, we didn't think it was bad at all today.
A few people brave the elements to take a walk on the pier, although the sightseers are few and far between. The Smith family says temperatures here are warmer than their home state of Texas, but they made sure to bundle up 5-month-old Colby so she wouldn't catch cold.
We're walking around. We've never been here to Clearwater or really seen any of these beaches, so we want to check them out and see what we got down here in Florida.
Chilly conditions did catch this group from Massachusetts by surprise. They're on a girlfriend's getaway and didn't exactly pack properly.
We didn't. We brought dresses and flip-flops and thought it was going to be a lot warmer.
So how'd you get the clothes?
We had to go to different shops and just buy a bunch of stuff.
Back on the beach, Ashley and Adam say it's worth a few shivers to catch a glimpse of this.
No, it's calming. It's a humbling experience being by the ocean.
It's something you just don't get anywhere else. To come sit and enjoy the waves. You could sit
Even
here for
if it
hours
is
and
40 degrees out.
yeah, still well worth it.
Yep.
All in all, we really didn't find a whole lot of people complaining. Most of the people that we talked to were from up north, and they say, hey, this weather still beats theirs any day of the week. On scene at Clearwater Beach, Lori Davison, Bay News 9.
New tonight, the Golden Arches light up in a whole new way. A Tampa Bay McDonald's has transformed from on-the-run fast food to a sit-down romantic dining experience. Bay News 9's Lori Davison live tonight at 10:07 from that restaurant where the Valentine's special just ended. Lori, what a night.
Well, you know, Veronica, when you think of romantic places to spend Valentine's Day, McDonald's may not exactly be the first place that comes to mind. But as we found out tonight, sometimes love can be found in unexpected places. Under the Golden Arches at a McDonald's along Dale Mabry, they're cooking up something special this Valentine's Day.
Love is in the air.
For one night only, the restaurant has been transformed. A hostess greets guests at the door and seats them. Candles flicker at the tables, and red heart balloons add to the ambiance.
We want to make them wow, basically.
Tucked in a corner at a table for two, Kathleen and Ward Griffin are taking a trip down memory lane.
Well, in 1968, when we were seniors in high school, I went to a McDonald's in Clearwater to get a meal before my after-school job.
And I was working the grill, and because I usually wanted to work the grill and not deal with the customers, you know, I just wanted to do my thing. And I see this really good-looking young lady coming up to the counter. I fly around the counter, so to speak. I tell the other folks to get off to the side, and I walk up to her and said, "Hi, may I help you?"
And he was so handsome and so cute. And when I went back to the car, I said to my mom, this really handsome guy filled my bag up with fries.
At their wedding a few years later, they kept up the McDonald's tradition.
Yes, we got married in 1975, and we had a full dinner, a sit-down dinner at the reception. But I had a friend go to McDonald's, buy a quarter pounder with cheese, wrap it in wedding paper, and I gave it to him as his first wedding present.
The Griffins admit they've had their ups and downs, but sitting at a table across from each other all these years later, sharing burgers and fries, the Griffins still have a twinkle in their eyes.
We have history that goes back to high school. We remember each other when we had pimples.
And they have this advice for couples looking to cook up some romance of their own.
And we have had tragedies in our lives, but we just didn't give up on one another.
You have to work on it every day. Marriage is an everyday situation. If you take it for granted, you'll lose. If you don't take it for granted, you got a good shot.
So the next time you're thinking love may not be on the menu, remember the Griffins.
We're still very much in love. He's still my best friend, and just look at him, he's so cute.
They really were adorable. Now, the Griffins say that this was one of their best Valentine's Day celebrations ever. And, you know, the employees here at the McDonald's really got a kick out of all of it, too. They say that they really wish they could do this every single day of the year. Veronica.
What a cute story. I mean, who knew that these guys are just, you know, that was a trip down memory lane. That was wonderful, Lori.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Cupid has had some success at other McDonald's. Officials say one North Carolina restaurant is in its third year of offering dinner by candlelight.